Officer James, a seasoned policeman with over a decade and a half under his belt, had his fair share of gritty experiences in the city: burglary, assaults, and even homicide. But let me tell you, nothing, absolutely nothing, could have gotten him ready for the spine-chilling experience he was about to encounter. So it was this rainy Thursday night. James got this routine dispatch call about some kind of ruckus at an old unused house down Oak Street. They thought it was kids messing around, so James, although slightly annoyed, drove to the scene through the relentless downpour. Oak Street's last house was old and dilapidated, standing forgotten like a ghost from a different era. It had this creepy vibe, you know? Overgrown plants all over and the paint peeling off. James parked his cruiser and went inside with his flashlight, cutting through the rain and darkness. The inside was just as desolate and ghostly. James scoured the place, room by room, but nada, no sign of any trouble. Just as he was about to leave, he heard this faint whisper from the basement. It was like a soft plea for help. Gripping his gun a bit tighter, he went down the old wooden stairs to the basement. The whisper got louder and clearer as he descended. And then he saw her, a tiny girl of about 7, her clothes all tattered and her eyes wide with fear. Trying not to scare her further, he approached her gently. But as he neared her, he noticed she was trembling and her gaze was fixed on something behind him. He swung around, but all he saw was the basement. Then, out of the blue, the flashlight died, plunging him into darkness. The whispers returned, more intense this time, and the room grew colder. It was this kind of paralyzing fear, like a cold hand gripping his heart. Just as suddenly his flashlight flickered back to life, and there she was, the little girl. But now there was this towering, shadowy figure behind her with glowing red eyes that just screamed evil. It reached out for the girl, and instinctively James stepped in. But the moment he moved, the thing turned its hellish gaze on him. His heart pounded in his chest, his whole body frozen with fear. And as it reached out towards him, he felt his energy just drain away. Just when he thought it was all over, there was this intense flash of light and an ear-splitting roar. The next thing he knew, he was outside, sprawled on the wet ground, blinded by the headlights of his cruiser. He called in backup, his voice barely steady. But when they got there was no trace of the girl or the horrifying figure. The house was empty, as if nothing had happened there. James never set foot on Oak Street again after that night. His story was met with disbelief, but he knew what he had seen. Those burning red eyes, they haunted him, a bone-chilling reminder of the unspeakable terror hidden in the depths of that forsaken house on Oak Street.